So the Xbox or Microsoft press conference just ended, and I thought I would tell you guys about what went on during it, how exactly it played out, and what they showed off. Because as far as games go, I wasn't really impressed that much with what they had to offer. As far as tech went, it was a really interesting E3, which I don't know if that's boring to you, but they announced 2 new Xboxes, which was very odd. So, first things first, they came out and started off with the Xbox One S. Now, they said that this plays at 4K, but don't be confused, it only plays 4K video. This Xbox does not allow for 4K gaming. So with this, it costs $299 for a 500 gigabyte console. Like I said, 4K videos, no difference in gaming whatsoever. They did announce a 4K console for gaming at the very end, so we will get to that. After that, they started on about Gears 4. Gears 4 looked really good, but they announced that it's coming out for both PC and Xbox, so if you have a decent gaming PC, you can actually play Gears 4 in 4K anyway, but they have Xbox crossplay with this game, which means that you can play with people who have Xbox against people who are, with people who are on PC. You can't play against, so there's no multiplayer cross-platform. There's just co-op multi-platform, so just keep that in mind. Also, they announced Horde mode. Horde mode has been in pretty much every Gears game. It's coming back in Gears 4, and yeah, that's pretty much all they showed for Gears 4. After that, Killer Instinct came on and announced that General Ram is going to be one of their new characters. And then Forza 3. And this one, they announced that it will be in Australia, which is, I believe, a really cool place to have a racing game. A lot of forestry, which looked really good. They announced that this is going to have 4-player campaign co-op and that it comes out September 27th. Speaking of September 27th, almost everything that Xbox announced is coming out this year, if not early 2017, which is really weird. I think there was like 1 game or 2 games that were coming out in late 2017. The rest are coming out very soon, which is very odd for an E3. I don't know if they don't have a ton planned for the distant future, but that really surprised me, the amount of stuff that's coming very soon. Speaking of stuff that's coming very soon, there's a game called Recore. Recore, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like you versus these kind of robots things. That one's coming out September 13th, as well as another one that's coming out soon is Final Fantasy 15. I was surprised that they showed Final Fantasy 15 at the Xbox or Microsoft press conference. I thought Final Fantasy was really in bed with PlayStation, so to see them at the Xbox press conference was a little odd, but we'll have to see how that plays out when we see what they do with PlayStation. Now, all they showed gameplay from it. You're fighting a big-ass monster, and they announced that it's coming out on September 30th. After that, a Division came out, so Ubisoft, and they announced that their DLC is coming out June 28th. Now, the DLC is called Division Underground, and this kind of threw me off because they announced randomly generated missions, which is what Fallout 4 had, and people were pissed about the randomly generated missions in Fallout 4, so I don't know how that one's going to play out in the Division. I mean, I guess it's good to have different stuff happening all the time, but people really get sick of those randomly generated missions. Another thing, Battlefield 1 came out. They announced that they are going to be coming out early on Xbox One. You can get it on Xbox One on October 13th, whereas you get it on every other console and on PC on October 21st. And I really would have thought that they would have announced that they are coming out on PC on October 13th too, because Battlefield actually has a really big community on PC. So that kind of surprised me. And they also announced that if you pre-order it for Xbox, you get the Hellfighter DLC 100% free, which is kind of cool. Then they came out and announced some new, I wouldn't say tech, but they announced some new things coming to Xbox Live. Clubs, they're kind of like groups from what we've seen in Black Ops 3, so kind of like a group you can join, and then you can find people to play with. LFG on Xbox Live. This is really cool. So what looking for game is on games like Destiny and Division, where it's super important to have a good group of players. You can kind of go on this and search for some players to play with, and this already exists on PC, and you can actually find people through PC to play on with PS4 or Xbox One. Whether people are going to actually use this on Xbox One when it's so easy to use on PC, I don't know. It's definitely a good idea though. They also announced very vaguely a new arena tournament platform, which they're going to be running directly through Xbox Live to kind of enforce the tournament play on Xbox Live, which is kind of cool. After that, Minecraft came out, announced dedicated servers across all platforms platform, and that Oculus Rift is going to be working with Xbox. There was no news about HoloLens, which I really found interesting, that they didn't say anything about HoloLens, because that was such a big thing in last year's E3, but they were talking about Oculus Rift this year. But they did talk about a brand new console, so maybe they're waiting for that to come out. But we'll talk about that brand new console in a little bit here. After they talked about the new things coming to Xbox Live, they talked about customizable controllers. Very, very briefly, they're just, you can customize the colors on them, make them look however you want them. The next game they talked about was one called Inside. Now, this one's by the creators of Limbo, and it comes out June 29th, so more stuff coming out very, very soon. They also said that starting today, Limbo is going to be 100% free for Xbox One users. Also, they then showed the big ol' indie game montage that every either Microsoft or Sony has at every single press conference, just showing that there are more indie games coming to the console itself. Then they showed one indie game that was really interesting to me. It's called We Happy Few. And this one is about basically this pill you can take that makes you happy, and it's kind of like goes against society to not take it. This game really, really reminded me of BioShock, kind of that creepy vibe to it. I really want to play this. I'm not sure if it's coming out on other consoles. They just said that it's coming out on July 26th on Xbox One, so I'm really interested to see if this comes out on PC. This is definitely a game I'm going to be checking out. Next, they announced Gwent. Gwent is a card game by the creators of The Witcher. It all has to do with The Witcher. Apparently, you could play it in The Witcher, but now they want to make it a standalone game. The beta for this one comes out in September, and this seems like a very common thing coming out for different games, is the card game. After that, Tekken came out, and they announced that they're releasing a fighting game for Xbox, and it's coming in early 2017. Then after that, a really awesome trailer was the Dead Rising 4 trailer. Yes, they are creating another Dead Rising. It's going to revolve around kind of this holiday theme, and generally these Dead Rising games have a theme. If you remember the first one, you were stuck in a mall. This one, it's all has to do with Christmas. They started off in the press conference, having it snow in the press conference room, and then they showed the trailer where you basically killed a bunch of zombies. There's a lot of Christmas trees. You could shoot candy canes. It was really, really cool. And after that, they talked about Scalebound, a game we've been seeing a while. It actually looked a lot like Final Fantasy 15, which was interesting, but you're only fighting dragons, and you can use dragons on your team. They announced that that is coming in 2017, so now we're getting into the stuff coming out in 2017. They started off with the stuff coming out super soon, and now we're into the stuff in 2017. After that, they showed Sea of Thieves, which was like this cartoonized pirate simulator. It was very odd. They didn't show too much about it, just two ships getting into a fight. Then State of Decay. State of Decay looks like Xbox way of combating The Last of Us. It did not look as good as Last of Us, but it was this survival zombie game, which did look good and definitely something I will be checking out. But yes, it looks like Xbox way of competing with The Last of Us, which is definitely something they needed. It's going to be very hard for them to beat The Last of Us, though. And then finally, Halo Wars 2. Halo Wars 2, if you never played Halo Wars, it's like a top-down Halo game. Not really loved by Halo fans, but by extreme Halo fans, definitely something they will be playing just to continue the lore of the game. This one was announced February 21st, 2017, which is a lot sooner than I would have thought it would have been. And then the big daddy of the whole press conference, Project Scorpio. What Project Scorpio is the brand new Xbox. I know I said that the Xbox One S is coming out this year, and it is, but the thing with Xbox One S is it only does 4K video. Project Scorpio is a beast of a console. They said they would be using 3 CPUs in it, along with 6 teraflops of graphic card usage, which is, I don't exactly know the way graphics cards work 100%. I just know that's a lot. That's all I know, because they said it a lot, like over and over again. 6 teraflops, 6 teraflops, 6 teraflops. So it's going to be a beast of a console. It's going to be interesting to see how Sony wants to compete with that, because that's definitely a big plus, because all we know from Project Neo, which is PlayStation's version of the console, is that they were working on a console that does rendered 4K, which means they upscale 1080p into 4K, which is not what you want. You want what Project Scorpio is doing is native 4K gaming. So it's interesting to see how those two are going to compare. Also, it's going to be very interesting to see the price point of that, because if that thing has 3 CPUs, a CPU alone is like $300. So is this thing going to be upwards of $1,000? I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. But let me know what you think down in the comment section below. If you found this video informative, it would be great if you could leave a like rating. The Ubisoft press conference starts very, very soon, so I'm going to get over to that. But I hope you enjoyed. Until next time, peace out, guys.